Why am I here? Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering about your purpose in life? Perhaps, like many of us, you've questioned the meaning of your existence. What is the point of it all, especially when the world around us feels uncertain and unpredictable? If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. Many of us struggle with these deep questions, especially when faced with life's challenges. But here's the good news. There is a way to find peace amidst these questions, and that's what we'll explore today. At the heart of Buddhist teachings is the concept of dukkha. This is often translated as suffering, but it's more than that. Dukkha is the underlying unease or dissatisfaction that we experience in life. It's the quiet ache we feel when things don't go as planned, or when we face loss, aging, or uncertainty. The Buddha understood that life's impermanence and our attachment to fleeting things create this feeling of suffering. But the Buddha didn't leave us without a path to walk. He taught us how to understand and break free from this cycle of dissatisfaction. Now, if you've ever explored existentialist philosophy, you might have heard similar themes. Philosophers like Albert Camus looked at life and concluded that it's absurd. He saw the tension between our longing for meaning and the universe's indifferent nature. Sound familiar? It's a challenge many of us face. How do we live in a world where meaning seems elusive? This is where Buddhism offers a different perspective. While existentialism leaves us with the tension of meaninglessness, the Buddha offered a solution. Rather than fighting the inevitable impermanence of life, we can embrace it. By understanding the nature of suffering, letting go of attachments, and cultivating mindfulness, we can find peace. Welcome to Son.Mindfulness, a space where we explore practical, profound teachings that can help you navigate life's uncertainties with wisdom and compassion. On this channel, we delve into Buddhist principles and mindfulness practices that can transform your perspective and bring a sense of inner peace. We believe that everyone, no matter their age, can benefit from these timeless teachings. So, if you've ever asked yourself, why am I here? Or if you're seeking a path out of suffering and confusion, stay with us. Through this video, we'll uncover how understanding dukkha and applying the Buddha's teachings can provide you with clarity, peace, and purpose. Let's explore this together and begin the journey toward a deeper understanding of life. We invite you to subscribe to Son.Mindfulness, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. We're grateful for your support, and we hope our teachings bring you closer to the peace, happiness, and good fortune you deserve. Now, let's dive into the wisdom of the Buddha and discover how we can transform suffering into liberation. Part 2. Why are we born into a world of change? 1. The concept of impermanence and dependent origination. Have you ever wondered why everything in life seems to change? Think of how your body changes over time. Your hair grays, your skin wrinkles, and your thoughts shift. This is the essence of impermanence, the Buddhist understanding that everything is in a state of constant flux. The Buddha taught that nothing remains the same, and trying to resist this truth only leads to suffering. Life is constantly shifting, and learning to accept this is key to finding peace. But what causes these changes? The Buddha explained that everything arises from dependent origination. Nothing exists on its own. Just like a tree needs soil, sunlight, and water to grow, our lives are shaped by countless conditions. Our actions, environment, and even past lives play a role in who we are today. This interconnectedness reminds us that we are part of a larger, ever-evolving web. 2. Connection with modern science. You might ask, why am I here? Was it just random? Modern science offers an interesting perspective. Carl Sagan, the famous astronomer, said, "We are made of star stuff." This means the elements in our bodies were formed in ancient stars, scattered across the universe before Earth even existed. In a way, we are the continuation of something that began billions of years ago. This idea aligns with the Buddha's teachings. He said that everything is interconnected, shaped by countless causes and conditions. We're not isolated beings, but part of a larger, unfolding process that connects us to the entire universe. Each of our actions, no matter how small, ripples through time and space. 3. Why do we exist in a world of constant change? So, why do we exist in such a world of constant change? Is it random, or is there a deeper purpose? The Buddha taught that life is not an accident. We are born into this world because of cause and effect. Karma. Karma isn't fate or punishment, it's the result of our actions. Our actions shape our present and future. For example, imagine a farmer planting seeds. If he plants apple seeds, he gets apples. If he plants thorns, he gets thorns. In the same way, our actions today shape our future. The Buddha showed us that nothing happens randomly. Our existence is the result of a vast network of causes and conditions, some of which we may never fully understand. 4. The inevitability of impermanence. At times, the constant change around us can feel overwhelming. We may resist it, hoping for stability, but the Buddha encouraged us to accept impermanence as a part of life. When we let go of the expectation that life should remain the same, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. We are not meant to fight change, but to live in harmony with it. This is where peace is found, in letting go of attachments. Whether it's our relationships, possessions, or even our own identity, clinging to these things only brings suffering. By accepting that everything changes, we can live more fully, embracing life without fear. As we reflect on the nature of impermanence, we may realize that control over life is an illusion. But does this mean we are powerless? What does it truly mean to live with peace and acceptance in a world that never stops changing? In the next section, we will explore the illusion of control and how our attachments and beliefs shape our experience of life. Part 3. The illusion of control. 1. The grasping and being grasped concept. How often do you think about control in your life? It's something we all seek. We try to control our actions, our outcomes, and sometimes even the people around us. But what if control is just an illusion? The Buddha taught us that life is full of change, and with that change comes impermanence. This means we cannot truly control anything in the world. Sure, we can make plans, we can work hard, but no matter how much we try, life remains unpredictable. The Buddha's wisdom challenges the idea that we can dominate life's course. Rather than controlling, he teaches us to embrace life as it comes. This brings us to a fundamental Zen question. Does the wind move, the flag, or your mind? Think about it for a moment. When we see a flag fluttering in the wind, we often think that the wind is moving it. But the Zen master asks us to consider, is it the wind moving, or is it the flag? Or is it simply your mind perceiving movement? This question reveals how our perception shapes our understanding of control. We may believe we are in control, but in reality, we are often controlled by our own mind. Our desires, fears, and attachments steer us, rather than us steering our lives. 2. Habits and reactions. Have you ever reacted to something without thinking? Perhaps someone said something that upset you, and you immediately felt angry. Or maybe you've made a choice in life based on an old habit without even realizing it. This is how much of our life operates, through unconscious habits and automatic reactions. We like to believe we are in control of our actions, but often, our behavior is driven by patterns that have developed over years. These habits shape the way we think and react to the world. The great warrior General George Washington once said, "It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change." This illustrates how adaptability, rather than rigid control, is key to growth. Yet many of us cling to old ways of thinking. We hold on to patterns that no longer serve us, and in doing so, we lose control over the very life we try to shape. The Buddha's teaching helps us understand this. By becoming aware of our habits, we can choose to respond with mindfulness rather than with reactive patterns. 3. Attachment and its role in suffering. Do you hold tightly to the things, people, or ideas in your life? Consider how much we cling to our success, relationships, and self-image. We want to be loved, respected, and admired. We want our work to be praised and our goals to be achieved. But the Buddha teaches us that attachment to these desires leads to suffering. When we cling to something, we are essentially telling ourselves that it must remain unchanged. This attachment creates tension, for life is constantly changing. For example, think of a mother elephant in the wild. Elephants are known to form close bonds with their young. A mother elephant will fight fiercely to protect her calf. But in the wild, death is inevitable. When the calf dies, the mother may spend days mourning, unable to let go. Her attachment to the calf causes her great pain. This story teaches us that attachment to anything, whether it's a loved one, a goal, or even a memory, can keep us stuck in grief and pain. But when we learn to let go, we free ourselves from suffering. The Buddha's path encourages us to live with an open heart, free from attachment. This doesn't mean we stop caring or stop working toward our goals. Rather, it means that we learn to enjoy life as it is, without clinging to it. As we explore the idea of control and attachment, we might ask ourselves, how much of our suffering comes from our desire to hold on? What would happen if we let go of our need for control and attachment? The answer may lie in understanding the next step on the path, karma and rebirth, where the consequences of our actions come full circle. Part 4. Karma and Rebirth. 1. Introduction to Karma. Have you ever wondered why some things seem to happen for a reason, while others feel random? The Buddhist concept of karma offers an answer. Many people believe karma is about punishment or reward, but the Buddha's teaching is different. Karma is not about fate. It's not a cosmic system of rewards and punishments. Instead, karma is about intentional action. The actions we take, the words we speak, and even the thoughts we think. Every choice we make has consequences. Think of a farmer planting seeds. If the farmer plants apple seeds, he will eventually harvest apples. If he plants thorns, thorns will grow. Karma works the same way. The seeds of our actions today shape the experiences we will face tomorrow. What we choose to do now creates the conditions for our future. It's not a random accident, it's a natural law. Just as the farmer's seeds determine his harvest, our actions determine the future we will experience. 2. Rebirth, a continuation, not a soul transfer. Have you ever wondered what happens after we die? Many people think of rebirth as the transfer of an eternal soul from one body to another. But in Buddhism, rebirth is not about a soul moving through time. Instead, it's about the continuation of consciousness. Imagine a river flowing. The water that flows is never the same from moment to moment. Yet, the river continues. In the same way, our consciousness continues from one life to the next, even though it is constantly changing. Our thoughts, actions, and desires flow from one life to the next, shaping our future experiences. So in Buddhism, rebirth is not about a fixed self moving from one body to another. It's a continuation of the process of becoming, just like the flow of a river that is never the same, but continues endlessly. Karma's effect on present and future. So, how does karma shape our present and future? Every action, every thought, and every word creates an imprint in our minds. These imprints, or karmic seeds, influence the way we experience life. For example, think about a general in a battlefield. A skilled general knows that the battle is won long before the troops march out. The general's decisions, strategies, and actions in the past have already determined the outcome. Similarly, our past actions have already shaped the course of our future. If we act with kindness, we will receive kindness in return. If we act with greed or hatred, we will experience the consequences of those actions. This is the law of karma. What we sow, we reap. Our past is not something we can change, but it's something we can learn from. We can choose to change the seeds we plant today so that our future harvest will be different. 4. Example of karma. Let's consider a story to understand this better. There was once a king who ruled over a vast kingdom. He was kind to his people, generous to those in need, and always acted with compassion. One day, a traveler came to the king's palace and asked for help. The king, without hesitation, provided food, shelter, and protection for the traveler. Years later, the king fell ill and was no longer able to rule his kingdom. His enemies, seeing this as an opportunity, attacked. But the king's people, remembering his kindness, defended him with all their might. They fought back fiercely and saved their king's life. In this story, the king's past actions, his kindness, returned to him as protection in his time of need. The karma he created by helping others shaped the outcome of his future. Just as the seeds he planted in the past brought forth a harvest of loyalty and care, his past actions influenced the present moment. This story shows how our actions today, whether big or small, create patterns of experiences that shape our future. As we reflect on karma, we may begin to realize just how much power we have in shaping our lives. By understanding that our actions create our future, we can choose to act with kindness, compassion, and wisdom. Karma is not a judgment, it is simply a reflection of our intentions. Now, as we continue on this journey, let's explore the next step in the cycle, the 12 links of dependent origination, and how they explain the process that leads us from ignorance to suffering. Part 5. The Cycle of Life, the 12 Links of Dependent Origination. 1. Introduction to the 12 Links. Have you ever wondered why life feels like an endless cycle? We experience joy, but we also face pain. We find love, but we also lose it. This cycle of birth, aging, and death seems unavoidable, doesn't it? The Buddha taught us that this cycle, known as samsara, is the result of a chain of events. It starts with ignorance. What does ignorance mean in this context? It means not understanding the true nature of life. We live our lives unaware of how deeply interconnected everything is. This ignorance leads us to craving, the desire for things to be different, to stay the same, or to never change. Craving then leads to clinging, when we hold on tightly to things, people, or ideas that give us a sense of security. But what happens when we cling too tightly? Eventually, our attachments shape who we think we are. We identify with these things and develop a sense of self around them. But from becoming comes birth, the start of new experiences, new desires, and new suffering. As the cycle continues, we experience aging, illness, and death, all of it tied to our attachments and ignorance. This is the cycle of suffering, and understanding it is the key to breaking free. 2. How suffering arises. Do you ever feel like suffering just comes out of nowhere? Perhaps one day everything seems fine, and then suddenly, life takes an unexpected turn. The Buddha taught that suffering does not arise from external circumstances. It arises from our ignorance of the true nature of life. For instance, let's think about a warrior who spends his life fighting battles. He is successful, respected, and strong. Yet every victory leaves him empty, always seeking more. His desire for success becomes a prison, trapping him in the cycle of craving. Why does this happen? It happens because we don't see the world as it truly is. We cling to our desires and fears, believing that they define us. But in doing so, we only deepen our suffering. The Buddha's teaching is clear. When we don't understand the impermanence of life, we cause our own suffering. We chase after things that we believe will bring happiness, but they only lead to disappointment. 3. Why can't we simply escape the cycle? Have you ever tried to escape a difficult situation, only to find yourself trapped again? It's as though no matter what we do, we keep falling into the same patterns. Why is it so hard to escape the cycle of life, even when we recognize the suffering it brings? The Buddha said that the reason we stay caught in this cycle is because we are attached. Attachment is the glue that keeps us bound to the wheel of suffering. Imagine a great general who has won many battles. He is wise, strong, and experienced, but he becomes so attached to his power that he refuses to let go of his control, even when it's no longer serving him. He fights for what he already has, believing that holding on will protect him. But in the end, it's his attachment that weakens him. We are no different. We hold on to the idea of who we are, what we want, and what we fear losing. But the more we cling, the harder it becomes to break free. It's not the world that traps us, but our own attachments to it. To escape the cycle, we must learn to let go of the things that bind us. 4. Understanding the cycle. Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ups and downs of life? Sometimes it seems like we're stuck in a never-ending cycle of wanting, getting, losing, and wanting again. But there's good news. The Buddha showed us that the way to freedom is through understanding. When we understand the 12 links of dependent origination, we see the cycle of suffering for what it truly is. We can begin to loosen our grip on the things that keep us trapped. This doesn't mean we stop caring or stop living our lives. It means we stop clinging to outcomes, to expectations, and to the need for things to be a certain way. The key to liberation is to understand that everything in life is connected, temporary, and ever-changing. When we stop clinging, we can experience life fully, without fear or desire. The cycle of suffering doesn't have to control us. By seeing life clearly, we can begin to step out of the wheel of samsara. As we reflect on the cycle of life, we may begin to ask ourselves, what is it that I am clinging to? How can I loosen my grip and allow life to flow freely? The path to liberation lies in understanding this cycle, and through that understanding, learning to let go. Now let's explore the Eightfold Path, the Buddha's guide to living with wisdom, compassion, and freedom from suffering. Part 6. The Path to Liberation, the Eightfold Path. 1. Introduction to the Eightfold Path. Have you ever felt lost, unsure of the path to follow in life? At times it can feel as though we're wandering, struggling to find meaning. But the Buddha gave us a practical guide to live in harmony with the world and overcome suffering. This guide is called the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path is not a set of rigid rules or commandments. It's a way of living that encourages wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. Small steps we can take every day to align our lives with the truth. The Eightfold Path is about living with awareness, compassion, and understanding. By following this path, we can begin to transform suffering and move toward liberation. The components of the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path consists of 8 aspects of life that guide us toward wisdom and peace. Let's take a closer look at each one. 1. Right view. This is the understanding of life as it truly is. It's about seeing the world with clarity and recognizing the truth of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. When we have the right view, we stop clinging to illusions about who we are and what we want. Instead, we accept that life is constantly changing, and we learn to embrace it with an open heart. 2. Right speech. Our words have power. They can heal, but they can also harm. Right speech is about speaking truthfully, kindly, and respectfully. Think about the last time you spoke to someone in anger. How did it feel afterward? Chances are it didn't feel good. Right speech is about saying what is helpful, not hurtful. 3. Right action. Right action is living in a way that promotes harmony and avoids harm. This means acting with integrity, being kind, and helping others. The great General Guan Yu, known for his unwavering loyalty, always acted with honor, even in the face of great challenges. Right action is about making choices that align with our values and serve the greater good. 4. Right livelihood. Our work should be a reflection of our values. Right livelihood is about earning a living in a way that does not harm others. This might mean choosing a job that benefits society or choosing to work with respect for the earth and all its creatures. A great leader like Mahatma Gandhi showed us that a righteous path leads to a life of purpose. 5. Right effort. Right effort is about putting energy into positive change. This means trying to cultivate good qualities in our hearts and minds while letting go of the negative ones. It's not about forcing change, but rather gently guiding ourselves toward peace and wisdom. For example, if you're prone to impatience, practicing mindfulness can help you pause and choose a more compassionate response. 6. Right mindfulness. Mindfulness is the key to seeing the world as it truly is. It's about being present in the moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Have you ever found yourself caught in a moment of deep reflection, where everything around you fades, and you are just here? That's the power of mindfulness. It helps us notice our habits and emotions without getting caught up in them. By practicing mindfulness, we can stay grounded, even in the midst of a busy or stressful life. 7. Right concentration. Right concentration is the ability to focus the mind to be fully present with whatever we are doing. This could be as simple as focusing on your breath while meditating, or as complex as concentrating on a long-term project with patience and perseverance. The Zen masters practice this form of concentration to clear the mind of distractions and see things as they truly are. 8. Right understanding. This is the culmination of all the other aspects. Right understanding involves seeing the deeper truths of life, the interconnectedness of all things, the impermanence of life, and the nature of suffering. When we have right understanding, we live with awareness, compassion, and wisdom in every action, word, and thought. 3. Applying the Eightfold Path in daily life. The Eightfold Path isn't just an abstract concept, it's something we can apply in our daily lives in simple but profound ways. For example, let's think about right speech. Every day we are faced with opportunities to speak kindly or harshly. Next time you find yourself in a disagreement, pause for a moment. Can you speak with kindness even when you disagree? This small act of choosing words wisely can lead to better relationships and greater peace of mind. Similarly, right action might mean choosing to help a neighbor who needs assistance, or avoiding actions that harm others. Each choice we make is an opportunity to practice the Eightfold Path. 4. Transforming suffering through mindfulness and compassion. The Buddha taught that mindfulness and compassion are the keys to transforming suffering. Mindfulness allows us to see things clearly, without the filters of fear or attachment. When we understand the truth of impermanence, we stop clinging to things that bring suffering. Compassion allows us to connect with others and relieve their suffering. When we see someone in pain, compassion leads us to act with kindness and empathy. By practicing mindfulness and compassion, we transform our own suffering and the suffering of others. As we reflect on the Eightfold Path, we may begin to ask ourselves, how can I live with more awareness and kindness today? What actions can I take that align with my deepest values? The Eightfold Path offers us a way forward, a path to liberation from suffering. And now, as we consider these practices, let us take the next step in our journey toward awakening, the final choice. Part 7. The Final Choice, Awakening 1. Liberation is personal. Have you ever looked for someone to save you, to show you the way? We often look outside ourselves for answers, hoping for a hero or a miracle. But the Buddha didn't teach us to wait for salvation from an external force. Instead, he showed us that awakening is a deeply personal journey. No one can walk the path for us. We are the ones who must choose to wake up, to see life as it truly is. The Buddha's teachings are not a set of instructions given by a distant God, but a guide to help us free ourselves from suffering. The choice to awaken lies within us, in every thought, word, and action. Just like a warrior who learns to master his mind, we too must take control of our inner world. Awakening is not a gift, it is the result of our own effort, awareness, and practice. 2. Awakening is not supernatural. Many people think that awakening is something magical, a mystical experience that comes suddenly. But the Buddha never promised us magic. He didn't teach us to look for signs or supernatural experiences. Awakening is not about reaching a divine state or performing miracles. It's about understanding the true nature of life. When we see life clearly, we understand that everything is impermanent and interconnected. We begin to realize that suffering arises from our attachments, our desires, and our ignorance. Awakening is not about escaping the world, but seeing the world for what it is. It's a shift in our perception. The great warrior Yamamoto Tsunetomo, author of the famous book Hagakure, said, "The way of the samurai is found in death." In other words, True wisdom comes from accepting the reality of impermanence and living fully in the present moment. Awakening is not about reaching for the stars, but grounding ourselves in the truth of our existence. 3. Each moment counts. How often do we think that enlightenment is far away, something we must wait for? What if I told you that each moment is an opportunity for awakening? Every action, every word, and every thought contributes to our liberation. The Buddha taught us to be mindful of our thoughts and actions because they shape our future. When we act with kindness, compassion, and wisdom, we are planting the seeds of awakening. For example, a monk who quietly sweeps the temple floor is practicing mindfulness. His focus is not on the task itself, but on being fully present in the moment. This simple action is a form of awakening. The Buddha's path is not about waiting for a great revelation, but about realizing that each step matters. Each moment is a chance to live in alignment with the truth. As we reflect on the Buddha's teachings, we may begin to ask ourselves, what choice will I make today? How will I live in this moment? Awakening is not a distant dream. It is something we can cultivate right now, with each step we take on the path. And as we continue this journey, we move toward a deeper understanding of our true nature. Now, let's explore the conclusion of this journey toward awakening and liberation. Conclusion. As we reach the end of this journey together, let's pause for a moment to reflect on what we've learned. Life is impermanent, a truth we can no longer ignore. Every moment is fleeting, and no matter how hard we try, we cannot control the flow of time. But here's the good news. We can change how we respond to life's challenges. We can choose to embrace life as it is, with all its ups and downs, joys and sorrows. We don't need to fight against change. Instead, we can flow with it, just as a river does. As we move forward, remember, the Eightfold Path offers us a simple yet profound way to live with wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness. These teachings are not just ideas to ponder, they are tools to practice every day. So I encourage you, dear reader, take a moment each day to reflect on what truly matters. When challenges arise, ask yourself, how can I respond with compassion and understanding? The path to liberation is not about escaping the world, but fully embracing it with an open heart. The Buddha's teachings invite us to wake up to the present moment, to recognize the impermanence of life, and to choose our responses with wisdom. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to you for joining me on this journey of discovery. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your willingness to explore these teachings. You've taken a step toward a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Now, it's time to put these teachings into practice. May you find peace, joy, and liberation in every step you take. Please remember to subscribe to Son.Mindfulness for more insightful content. I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear your reflections. Stay healthy, stay peaceful, and may good fortune always be with you. Thank you again for being a part of this meaningful journey. Thank you.